Hey everyone, and welcome back. If you are new here, then hello, my name is Zoe and this is my YouTube channel. Today I'm spoiling you in today's video that are going to be two different makeup looks. I've seen a lot of videos of people doing multiple looks with the same eyeshadow palette to give you an idea of how you can use it and the variations of colours and things like that, but I thought it would be quite a good idea to do two different looks with the same whole group of products. When I researched this topic, I only found one person who'd ever done this before. Her name is Eyeliner, and she has a YouTube channel as well. She's really good. I hope I pronounced that name right, so please go and watch her video as well. I'm using just a random group of products, so if you want me to make this into a series, I absolutely will. I think it'd be quite a good idea to show how versatile your makeup collection can be. So if you want to see my two makeup looks using the exact same makeup, then keep watching. For look number one, I wanted to do something more daytime, and then for look number two, we can do something a bit more glam and a bit more nighttime. So also, if you're wondering why my hair is an absolute mess, I went to bed with it wet last night. It didn't dry the way that I wanted it to, and I couldn't even be bothered to mess with it this morning, so I haven't even brushed it. I've just done what I could with it. Hopefully it doesn't look too bad. I have moisturised and everything because I'm actually filming in the morning this morning and not in the afternoon. So for foundation, we can go straight in with that. I'm going to use the Fenty Beauty Pro Filtr foundation, mainly because, again, haven't fake tanned again, so I'm running out of different foundations to use. I think I did use this in my last video as well, so I do apologise, but I'm going to use this one. It's in the shade 210. I'm one of them people that don't like to buy a lot of makeup for themselves. Like, I haven't got a huge collection. I have obviously in my professional kit when I do other people's makeup, but for myself I like to use the same thing, so if I can get like two looks out of one, then why not? I do really like this foundation as well. It is a little bit more matte and I am more dry. It's one of them sort of all-rounders, like you can wear this for every day and you can also build it up for nighttime as well if you want to. So I just usually apply like one or two layers for the daytime because I still do like a nice sort of medium coverage. Then for my concealer, I'm going to use my usual Makeup Revolution concealer. Usually my shade is C5, but I picked up C6 the other day just to see what that was like. So I'm going to use C6. It's going all under my eyes. I feel like this one might be slightly yellower than C5. I'll go in anywhere where I need a bit of extra coverage, so always down the centre of my face. And then I'll also just pop a little bit on my eyelids as well as a primer. And then again, I just pounce that in. I always use the same side as I've done my foundation with because I feel like I can just blend it a little bit better that way. And then I always leave my under eyes till last, so just gently pressing that in. Now we can move on to a cream bronzer slash contour. I'm going to use the Insta Duo Stick from Rimmel. This one is in medium, and I never use the highlight side, but I really like the contour stick side. So I'll just do a little couple of lines just around my forehead and onto my cheeks, just buffing that into my skin. So I kind of buff it onto my cheeks as well, so it acts like a bronzer as well. I did already do my brows, so for this I haven't filled them in too much. I've just lined them with the NYX Micro Brow Pencil. I bought the shade Brunette instead of Chocolate because I thought chocolate was just a little bit too red for me, even though I have red hair. So I just use that just to fill them in slightly, and then I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Gel just to fluff them up a little bit and set them. And then I'm going to set my concealed areas with the RCMA, the original No Colour Powder. I find I have to use this quite sparingly because it can make my under eyes like really white if I use too much. And then I always go down the centre of my face as well because I feel like that area always wears off first, so definitely around my nose and my chin. I'm going to move on to eyes before I finish the rest of my face. So for my eyes, I chose the Bonne Renaissance palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills because I wanted to use a mix of drugstore and high-end. Plus, I think I did use this in my last video, but I feel like this is a really good all-rounder palette, so I can easily use this for daytime and I can easily use it for nighttime as well. So for daytime I thought I could use the more pinky tones, and then for nighttime I thought I could use the more smoky brown tones and make it a little bit darker. The first shade that I'm going to go in with is Love Letter, which is the pinky shade at the top, and this is going to be my transition shade, and I just want to use this quite softly. I really like to wear anything too heavy for the daytime really. And then I'm also just pressing a little bit just onto the outer part of my lid. Okay, and then my second shade is going to be Venetian Red, which is that one, and I'm just taking this just on the very outer corner and then just to the inner part of my crease, just to give it a little bit more definition. For my lid colour I'm going to use the MUA, which is a slightly like light champagne colour I think, and I'm just going to press this over with my finger. I always find shimmery shades do work better with your finger. For my under eye I'm just going to go in with Red Ochre, which is that really sort of deep wine shade. And I want to use this just right into my lower lashes. I'm just going to buff the brush off on my hand and just keep sort of buffing it in until it's sort of almost gone. And then for eyeliner, I don't tend to wear a lot of eyeliner for the daytime, but if I do, I just line my top waterline just so it makes my roots of my lashes look a little bit thicker, because I don't wear false lashes for daytime. So I'm just taking this MAC pencil, this is in Costa Riche, and I'm just lining my very top waterline. Then just applying a little bit of mascara. This is the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, and I always do the top and bottom lashes. Onto bronzer, I'm going to try this one today. This is brand new to me. This is the Makeup Revolution Mega Bronzer in the shade Warm. I saw this the other day, it just caught my eye, so I thought I would try it out because I always use the exact same bronzer. So it's quite a big pan. It looks quite pigmented as well, so we'll just go light-handed with it. So I'm just going to buff this onto my cheeks and then down onto my neck as well. Moving on to blush, I'm going to use my favourite, which is Luminoso from Milani. I just use the same brush, and then when I smile, just pop it onto the apples of my cheeks, and then I blend it back into my bronzer. For my highlight, I'm going to use this one from MUA Makeup Academy. This is the Shimmer Highlight Powder. It's in Radiant Cashmere, and this is kind of a similar shade to the colour that we've used on the lid. It's just slightly more of like a golden undertone. And for daytime, I like just like a nice subtle glow. I don't go in too heavy. For me, it's not too heavy anyway. Someone else it might be. I also like to just highlight my inner corners and my brow bone as well, and I just do that with my finger because I feel like I can blend it nice with my finger. And then for my lips, I'm first going to line them with Soar Lip Pencil from MAC. And then I have this liquid lipstick from NYX, which is in the shade Stockholm, which is a nice nude as well. And then very finally, we can go in with some setting spray. So I'm just going to use the Primer Water from Primark. So that is look number 1. Let me know what you think. We can now move straight on to look number 2. So I've cleansed my skin, applied a lot of moisturiser. Let's move straight on to foundation. So I'm going to use exactly the same Fenty Beauty foundation, but I am going to build this up a little bit, make it a bit more of a full coverage. That's what I really like about this foundation. You can wear it for every day, but you can build it up as well. So let's just start applying this. I always prefer to use a sponge to apply my foundation. I feel like it's less harsh on my skin than a brush. Sometimes, like if I'm being quick for every day, I'll use a brush, but for nighttime especially, I feel like I can build it up more with a sponge. I've done my brows again already. I've used exactly the same product, so NYX Micro Brow Pencil in Brunette and my Anastasia brow gel, but I have just filled them in a little bit darker and just lined them a little bit sharper. Okay, so that's definitely more of a full coverage this time. So now we can move on to concealer. Exact same concealer. Again, I love this because it works for both day and nighttime. I really like the coverage. I'm going to leave my eyelids because I want to carve out my brows a little bit sharper with this rather than the last time. So I'm just popping a little bit more on than I did before. Tapping it straight in with my beauty blender. When I blend my concealer in, I always blend it from like the bottom upwards because the very inner corners is where I want the most coverage. So I just gently keep tapping and working my way up to the inner corners of my eyes. I'm going to also obviously use the same cream stick for my contour slash bronzer, and I'll maybe just do this a little bit more heavier as well, so I'll put on like an extra stroke of this. So again, just working this in with my brush up onto my cheeks as well. I do really like how these blend. It's so easy to use. Then to set, taking the RCMA No Colour Powder again, and I'm going to set the exact same areas. So under my eye first because that's always the first place to crease. My nose and my forehead. And then with any excess that is on my hand, I'll just take a fluffy brush, just because we've applied quite a lot more of the foundation and concealer and everything. I'll just tap a little bit of extra just around the perimeter just to make sure it sets nicely. So for the eyes, I'm going to use the exact same concealer as my primer, but I'm going to carve out my brows a little bit more this time. So I'm just going to use like a flat domed brush. Got the concealer on the back of my hand, and I'm just going to use this as my base and to sharpen up my brow. Again, using the Modern Renaissance palette, I'm going to use more of the brown tones and keep to more matte shades this time. So I'm first going to go in with Burnt Orange, which is that one. This is going to be my transition shade this time. So on a big fluffy brush, now I'm just going to apply this into my socket. You don't have to set the concealer as your base if you don't want to. I personally don't anymore, I used to. So if you find it easier to work with, then just set your concealer with a little bit of loose powder first before you start. For this makeup look, I'm going to keep it a little bit more rounded rather than winged out like the first look. So when I blend, I'm sort of blending in a arch rather than winging it out in the outer corner. And then over the top of that, I'm going to go in with the end one, which is called Raw Sienna. And then for my lid shade, I'm going to use the darkest one. So I'm going to go in with Cypress Umber. And I'm just going to press this all over my lid. And then I'm taking the first two again and just blending that into the crease. For eyeliner this time, I'm going to line the top and lower waterline this time. So just to make it a little bit more smokier. I've also just slightly rubbed the eyeliner into my bottom lashes as well so I can smoke it out. So I'm going to take Burnt Orange first on a smudger brush and just smudge that all along my lash line. Smudging the liner right into my lashes. I feel like I can never do this without opening my mouth. Then to blend out this edge, I'm just taking Raw Sienna and just blending it just underneath where that dark brown finishes, just so it doesn't like completely end. I never like it when there's like a really harsh line. And for mascara, again, the Too Faced Better Than Sex. I might actually apply some lashes. I don't know whether that's cheating or not. So for bronzer, using the same Makeup Revolution one. So I'm going to build this up a little bit more on the cheeks this time, just because it is a nighttime look. And I'll probably just pop some on my chest as well, just to even it out a little bit, just so we all match. It's actually a really nice colour, to be honest. Blusher is Luminoso from Milani, and again onto the apples of the cheeks, and I always blend it back into my bronzer. Again, the same highlight, the Raging Cashmere from Makeup Academy, and because this is a nighttime look, I think that we can go just a little bit heavier with the highlight this time. So I like to buff it on to my cheeks first. Again, I'll go around the forehead, and then to intensify it, I'll just take some on my finger and then just rub it in right on the top of my cheekbones. I feel like that just melts it together a little bit better. My inner corners. I don't often do like just all matte eyes, but I actually really like it. And then brow bone as well. And then for my lips, I am going to overline them a little bit more than I did before, using the same Soar pencil. And then the same liquid lip, mainly to the centre. So that is our look number 2, a more nighttime look done. Oh, I need to put my setting spray on. Just pop a little bit of this on. And then I think I am just quickly going to throw some lashes on just so you can see it with. So that is look 2 with some lashes on, and that's the only thing I think I would add for a nighttime makeup. All the rest of the products we've used exactly the same, and I think that finally completes our 2 looks using the same products. I hope this video isn't too long, but if you enjoy it and you want to see more like this, then please let me know down in the comments. I really hope you liked today's video. Please subscribe if you did as well, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!